What's up, Internet? It's Dumbass Panicos Gaming, and we're doing some more shiny hunting today. And yeah, let's just get going on it. If you're watching this on YouTube, you might have noticed the last part ends at 550 eggs, and this one starting at 600. I did actually try to stream a couple days ago, and it did not go well. Basically, I had a bunch of issues getting it started. The big thing was the Spotify fucked everything up, and they like made their own connectivity stuff not work. So the widget for the now playing thing did not work at all, which was annoying, especially because initially I assumed, I assumed it was something with now playing, which is why I don't want to do that shit through a fucking bot, or, through a web service. Like, just let me capture it on my fucking computer, but still can't figure out any way to do that, so I'm sure there is a way. But the other thing is, like, even when I try and do window capture, unless you're like, that window is currently in focus, it doesn't work. So, I don't know. I know there used to be a way to do it with OBS, and I think some of this comes from me having like a weird version of OBS, because it's technically I downloaded the Stream Elements version of it, but then I stopped using that because it doesn't actually provide anything. Maybe if I redo my whole setup, like I've been kind of talking about, or not my whole setup, but adding in a Intel graphics card for AV1 encoding. We'll see. Maybe I can just uninstall OBS and just start from the ground up. If I upgrade CPUs, which doesn't seem very likely right now, but if I were to, I would have to reinstall Windows anyways, so at that point I might as well just kind of nuke everything. But we'll see. And we aren't getting, we're a lot closer to getting those Intel GPUs. I know technically the A380 has already been out, but it's only one manufacturer making cards for it, and it's been back-ordered since pretty much as soon as it launched. So people do have them, but it's not really a release. But they did confirm that the A770, which is it's going to be Intel's top of the line for this generation, not at all remotely competitive with, like the 4090 or anything like that. I think they said it's supposed to be in the ballpark of, like, the 3060, or is it a 3060 Ti? I don't think it's quite to a 3070. But something like that, in that ballpark. And they're selling it for, like, $330, which is pretty nice, assuming that's accurate. I don't think anyone's really had a chance to benchmark it yet. I know Linus Tech Tips I think they had an A770 when Intel came and like did their thing with them, like on the LAN show and all that, but I don't know if they like really benchmarked it super well, because it was kind of like a sponsored thing. So once there's actually some out in the wild, that'll be better. But my main thing with it, because I'm not really interested in the A770, although I would have to think about comparing it with my what is it, my 2070. I would have to look to see if it's gonna be competitive. Like, I don't really want to. Oh, hey, that's a perfect one. Oh, so yeah, this was the thing. I think I kind of trailed off with this. So I had a bunch of technical issues, and this was after working a lot that day, like 10 hours. So, I was tired. I was, God damn it, why the fuck did it do that? Why did it do that, actually? I feel like it's inconsistent when it'll, when it, like, brings you into the box so you can drop off your Pokemon, as opposed to, like, just throwing the Pokemon in the box, but then it doesn't organize them the way that I want it. But yeah, anyway, so Had a bunch of technical difficulties last time. Finally got the stream started. You know, I was frustrated. I was ranting about stupid broken shit. And then I go and I look at my boxes, and I don't even have enough boxes open for how many Pokemon I wanted to stream, or how many Pokemon I wanted to breed on that stream, rather. Yeah, so I was gonna do 100 last time, and it ended up only being 50 because I didn't have enough room for 100, and I just didn't think there was anything of value, content-wise there, so I was just like, fuck it. I still have the video, but it's not getting uploaded. But yeah, anyways, going back to the Intel GPUs, I'm a little bit tempted if it's like you know, if it'll be better than my current 2070, which it might. I mean, the 3060 is a big step up, or I believe it was a big step up. But the big thing is I'm mostly interested in the cheaper cards. In fact, the cheapest card, the A380, because I kind of don't care at all about performance in terms of gaming on it. And like, even if I could replace my 2070 with the A770, it's like, I don't know if I want to risk it with the driver stuff. Because that's the big thing that I've heard a lot with Arc, is that they've actually had the GPUs physically done for a while. But they haven't been able to ship them because their drivers are just garbage, which shouldn't be too surprising. I mean, yes, Intel does have their integrated graphics, but this is the first time, at least in a long time, that they've really made an attempt at a dedicated GPU card. So it shouldn't be surprising that, like, the big thing is that, like, I believe DirectX 12 is, like, fine. They're not having a whole lot of issues with that. I'm sure there's been some optimizations that needed to happen, but that's not been the main issue. I believe it's DirectX 11 games are gonna struggle a little bit with it, which shouldn't be surprising because, again, like, the other manufacturers have had years to get that stuff really dialed in with their drivers. Intel hasn't been able to do that yet. And then DirectX 9, they aren't even going to try to support. It's just going to have to run in an emulator of some sort. Which probably isn't too much of an issue for me, although I do have a couple of older games that I do like to play, but, like, the big thing is just the drivers being unstable in general. Hopefully, modern games are going to run fine on it, though. That seems to be the thing. It's more of, like, slightly older and much older games are going to be concerns. But yeah, I don't really need it for gaming. I just need it for the AV1 encoder, which I think, to be fair, the NVIDIA 4000 series cards are going to have an AV1 encoder as well. I believe everything recently has had an AV1 decoder, so you can actually watch the AV1 videos, but it hasn't had the encoder for it. But I don't see NVIDIA launching a, like, $140 graphics card anytime soon, so it'll have to be the Intel. I do love how people have noticed that the current product lineup for the 4000 series for NVIDIA is, it says 4090, 4080, like, whatever, 16 gigabit, or gigabyte rather, and then 4080, 12 gigabyte. But people have noticed that the 12 gigabyte model is a completely different card. So not only is it not a 4080, really, in any capacity, it's not even like a 4070 that they're calling a 4080. It's actually like a 4060. Just compared on, like, how it compares to the flagship of the 4090, which is kind of sad. And they're still trying to sell it for, like, I think $900 was the price on it. Which, by comparison, my 660 Ti back in 2012 cost me $300. So, like, I understand inflation's a thing, but the price of things has not tripled in the last 10 years. Like, if you even told me $500 for that card now, I'd be like, okay, maybe. That seems a little bit outlandish, but fine. But yeah, for that price, no thank you. I know AMD is set to reveal their graphics cards in November, I believe. And it's assumed that those are also going to have an AV1 encoder. Although, for what it's worth, we'll see if it's any good. AMD's kind of been not as good as NVIDIA for their encoders for a while. Or at the very least, I remember my RX 480 not being great. Which, to be fair, you know, actually, that was pretty early on. But I just remember early on with, like, NVIDIA with NVENC, or whatever it's called. Their, like, encoder for H.264 and 265 was not great early on. Like, it was very, like, just a lot of quality lost. But it has gotten a lot better. That's the other thing. I was thinking about switching up my system now to start streaming. So have, like, the stream be encoded by the CPU and have the recording be encoded by the GPU. I don't know yet if I'm going to do that. I mean, I probably will if I do get that Intel graphics card. But I also need to figure out, like, again, what that setup's going to look like. Because what I would like to do is, honestly, for streaming and even recording, just anything that has to be done in real time, I'm just going to use, like, I'll use the AV1 encoder for streaming, and then the H.265 encoder on the NVIDIA card for recording. And then when I do my final render out, or, like, if I have to edit anything or anything like that, then I'll use the CPU. Because the CPU, like, overall, it's going to end up giving you the best quality. But it's, they struggle to do it live, basically, like in real time. It's just, you know, it's hard to do that properly. So that way I could just, you know, use the GPUs and not have to worry about stressing the CPU or anything. But again, we'll see. The other concern is if I actually hadn't even thought about one of my concerns is that the having enough PCI lanes. I don't know if I'll have enough to do that. I should be okay. Especially when, I think if I'm just streaming, I'm not, like, playing a game on the PC as well, it should be okay. But being that I do have, you know, the big graphics card, and then I'll have the A380, and then I'll also have my Elgato in there, like, that's a lot of data that has to deal with. Oh, and also I think my, yeah, I have my NVMe SSD drive, which I assume is on the PCI lanes as well. So I should probably look into that. Actually, I should probably look into that before I even, like, make any decisions about stuff. I should probably... Fuck, I don't even know what this motherboard is. I do know that it was a B-series motherboard, so... It's not like I have a ball-in motherboard or anything. It might actually struggle a little bit. And then it becomes a question of, do I want to bother upgrading right now? Which, like, that's, I mean, I shouldn't even say it like that. It's not really an option right now. I would not have the money to upgrade it fully. Because I would need, at this point, at least a CPU and a motherboard. Unless I wanted to upgrade to a AMD 5000 series. No, actually, because that still wouldn't help if I don't have enough PCI lanes. I don't think. I think that's mainly going to be a motherboard issue. And I guess I could buy an older motherboard, but that's, like, better than my current one. I guess that is an option. But at that point, with doing all the work for it, I would like to do a proper upgrade. Because if I'm going to be swapping out the CPU into a different board, and I'll probably have to reinstall Windows at that point. It's just like, fuck it. Like, it's not really worth it if you're not going to go for a full upgrade, I feel like. But also, when you factor in how much, like, the new CPU is going to cost, and new motherboard, and new RAM, because it's going to be, you know, if I'm going AMD anyways, it's going to be DDR5 only. And then, you know, who knows, I might need a new power supply at that point, because, boy, the new CPUs are all power hungry as hell. I don't know. It will be interesting. I should look into that a bit more, though. But maybe it'll be worth it, because I do hope to be streaming more, just like from now on. Admittedly, I've said that probably like the last 13 streams I've done, and it hasn't really worked out, but I do have like a plan now. Because now that I do have like a set schedule, basically, for my job. It was always like, I can't even say like kinda set, because it like, in theory it was supposed to be set before, but like, without fail, every week something would change. For a while it was fine, but there was like a solid 2 months there where I couldn't get the same schedule 2 weeks in a row. It's just like, what the fuck, guys? Like, especially because they do this thing where they don't post the schedule until the day before it goes into effect, which is like, okay, well, like, how am I supposed to be able to fucking plan anything when I don't know what the fuck I'm going to be doing next week? Like, but anyways, it's set now. So I think moving into the future here, I'm actually going to start becoming a late night streamer instead of, like, kind of late night. I don't know. Basically, instead of, like, aiming for, like, 9 p.m. to midnight-ish, I'm going to be aiming more at, like, 11 p.m. or midnight to, like, 2 or 3 a.m. And again, that's my local time, Mountain Standard Time. Whatever it works out for you. I want to try and do that 5 days a week. My current plan right now is Wednesday through Sundays, basically. So I'll have Monday and Tuesday off. Which is good, because it gives me a day where I don't work or stream or anything like that. God, that one soda made me, like, super burpy. But yeah, hopefully I can get back into the habit of doing, like, 5 streams a week. And just having it be... Did I move them or no? Did I just look at them? I must have moved them. Okay. I don't know why that's something that, like, skips out of my brain the second that I do it, but whatever. Oh, wait. Okay. Also, that does remind me. I just thought about it. Because I was thinking of how I fucking finally cleared all my boxes out. I need to check Pokemon Home again. Check one of my trades. I had someone... I don't know why people do this. Fucking sending, like... They send out hacked Pokemon through mystery trades. And it's just like, fucking why? And I'm not even talking like how it was in Sword and Shield, where stuff like Machamps.com and stuff like that was... They were using that to advertise their service. Which is like... I at least understand why you would bother to do that. It doesn't make any sense to me when it's... The Pokemon isn't named in any weird way. The trainer name isn't anything weird. But it's just a 6 IV shiny Pokemon. And it's like... Cool. Like... Also, something I've been meaning to check with that, too. It said it was caught on Route 5 in Sword and Shield. And it's a, Lycanroc, I believe. Which, can you even find Lycanroc in... hold on a sec. No, it's not even... Yeah, see, I didn't even think it was... It's not even in, like, the base game for Sword and Shield. Like, if you're gonna fucking do that shit, at least try to make it look legit. Like, as soon as I saw it was level 100 shiny and 6 IV, I knew it was bullshit anyways. But, like, God, at least, like, make it so, you know, it says you caught it in an area that it could even be caught. Alright, these are going in the box because we're doing this shit already. I have no idea how many eggs I'm gonna go through tonight, because I don't really have a plan. But we'll go till around 1 AM or so. Or whenever I finally get this damn shiny. This one is gearing up to be my worst egg hunt ever. We're not quite there yet, but it's going that way. I forget what my actual worst is, but I believe it's somewhere in the 600s. In fact, I think it was a Galarian Meowth, actually. It was like mid 600s or something like that. Something else, going back to like the Intel stuff, is now that they're finally releasing the A770, I want to try and keep track to see if there's any news about the workstation cards that they're going to release. Because especially seeing that the A770 is only like $330, I've got to assume that the A40, the like Pro A40 card, is gonna be like the same price as the A380. Alright, sorry about that. So, hopefully if they release those professional cards soon, because, like, again, I don't care about gaming performance, and I think the Pro A40 is just like an ever so slightly cut back version of the A380. But the big thing for me is it's a single slot card. So I'm not as worried about having space in my system for it. Plus, it's supposed to be lower power, which would be good, because again, I think I have enough power supply, like headroom. I'm not sure. And hopefully it being smaller means that my my 2070 can breathe a little bit easier, so that if I am streaming and like playing a PC game, I'm not like worried about it as much. We'll see though. Yeah, hey, what's up, Anna, by the way? Yeah, the A770 got a release date. I believe October 13th or 16th. But only that one. We haven't gotten dates for any of the others yet. So the only cards that we know for sure are technically, I guess, the A380 launched, but like there's only one add-in board partner right now, and you can't even actually get it because it's just backordered everywhere. And then, yeah, the A770 coming up soon. But hopefully the cards are good. I mean, again, I'm not expecting a whole lot. They don't need to be, like, super competitive. They just can't be complete garbage. Because the thing is, since Nvidia right now seems to be just abandoning anything below like $1,000, And who knows what AMD is going to do. It's like Intel does have an opportunity to like fill in what used to have been like, you know, kind of mid-tier graphics cards and low-tier graphics cards. Though low-tier graphics cards have always just been garbage in general. It's generally just been best to buy something used from a generation or two ago, as opposed to buying something like a 1030 or some bullshit like that. If it's ever anything below like a 50 class card, so like a, you know, a 750 or a 3050, or yeah, 3050, like stuff like that. I don't even know if there is a 3050, to be fair. But if it's ever anything below that, it's not worth even like buying. Unless literally all you need it for is you need like more display outputs. Like even the A380, honestly, probably isn't a card that anyone should be buying. Well, to be fair, the last couple of years it was buy literally whatever you could get your hands on because there were no graphics cards available, but like no one should really be buying the A380 for gaming, I don't think, at this point. But, you know, again, for 130 bucks, like, it might be fine. Have there even been, like, I guess there would be, huh? Because the card is technically out. I should see if there's, like, any benchmarks for the A380. I wonder if it's better or worse than my, my old RX 480 was. With how old that card is, I bet you it's better than that was. Honestly, I'd probably... Well, let me say it back. I was gonna say I'd probably still be using that RX 480, but one, I upgraded to a 1440p monitor and it was not keeping up anymore. And two, I got my 2070 for free anyways, so what do I get? I guess that's another thing. If I really wanted to have like another card for encoding right now, I could go dig that 4080 out of storage. Or actually... I'm trying to remember. So the first time I rebuilt my buddy's computer, he gave me the graphics card that was in it, which at the time he told me was a 5080, which was basically a rebadged 4080, but a little bit faster. But that ended up not being right. I think it was a 50, or did I say 5080? Sorry, 480 and 580, if I was saying 40 earlier. Fucking NVIDIA. But yeah, he told me he was giving me a 580, RX 580. But then, like, I actually looked at it, I think it was a 560. So I was okay, well, this is a downgrade from my 4080, so I don't care. But I wonder if that thing had a built-in encoder. Not that I would use it, because the older AMD stuff is not... Their encoders are not good. Even, like, the original NVIDIA encoder for H.264 was not good. Plus, like, the main thing I care about is the AV1 encoding. Does Twitch still not support H.265? It does not, as far as I know. I think they've... I assume they've just abandoned planning any support for that, because they were potentially looking at VP9 as well, which is what YouTube is using. I think Netflix might use it as well. But I think even like that has been abandoned at this point because they're just gonna commit to AV1. VP9 is good. Yeah, I mean, anything compared to H.264 is pretty good. Even H.265 is, you know, not stellar, but it's still a lot better. But yeah, pretty much every, like, big tech company that has anything to do with online content is, like, supporting the, whatever conglomerate it is that's developing VP9, or sorry, AV1, which includes, like, Netflix and YouTube and Amazon and Meta and all those companies. So I think everyone's just kind of said, fuck it, we're just gonna go down this road. More stuff seems to support VP9 compared to 265. Yeah, I mean, I think mainline support for 265 just took too long to really take off. Especially because there's a bunch of, like, there's a bunch of licensing fees and shit with it, too, for, like, the companies that want to actually use it. Whereas AV1 is supposed to be, like, license and royalty-free and stuff. I have no idea how VP9 is for that. But yeah, Twitch has done some testing with AV1. It's not public at all yet, but, like, they've done stuff with it. And there was, like, a quote that potentially you could even, like, get away with, like, 1440p, 120 hertz. As, like, a, you know, a stream. I don't think that's gonna happen. Because, frankly, for online video, I think 60 is just fine. Maybe I could see YouTube letting you do 120, but I think for a live stream, they probably won't let you do that just for the sake of it being not necessary, honestly. Especially when you probably would get better returns in terms of like viewer satisfaction with using that bitrate to just make it look better instead of higher frame rate. VP9 is the same in terms of being royalty free or having a lot of royalties with it. Open source, okay. Yeah, it will be nice at least to just, like, you know, if you want to stream 1080 60, you don't have to, like, even really think about you know, how the quality of it is going to be. Because you'll just be able to, you know, encode through AV1, and then it's just like, you know, it'll probably still have a little bit of blockiness at that point, especially if you follow, like, Twitch's soft cap of 6,000 kilobit. Which apparently you can usually get away with, like, 8,000 kilobit and be fine. I've never tried that. I have no interest in doing so right now. Especially for, like, Pokemon. There's no real point. Like, I'm sure 6,000 kilobit's gonna be fine for 1080-30 for Pokemon. Again, on AV1. I mean, it's fine enough right now, I think. But, you know, if I can make it better quality, then I will. Granted, I guess I could make it better quality just by swapping swapping which, the CPU or the GPU is doing my encoding. Twitch plans to roll out AV1 for its most popular content in 22 and 23, with universal support in 24 or 25. Makes sense. I mean, the thing is, like, until basically October, there won't, there isn't hardware supporting AV1 yet, in terms of encoding anyways. All of the recent stuff, I believe, has AV1 decoders, but they haven't had any hardware to encode for it, and it's way too demanding to try and use the CPU for it, at least for live content. I think YouTube does support AV1 for non-live content. I don't think they let you do it live yet. Also, I needed to take those out of my party before they started hatching. Thanks, game. That, more than anything, is like one of the things I'm most looking forward to with the new games. Having the fucking eggs. Just, I don't know if they will, but God, I hope they just spawn them more consistently. For the love of God. Like, it's just so weird that sometimes you'll spend, like, multiple minutes spinning in a circle, not get a single egg to spawn. And then other times you'll have, like, 4 spawn within, like, 10 seconds. But we'll see. We know that stuff is changing with breeding. And that, at least according to the leaks, it's, breeding's gonna take place, instead of using, like, the daycare center, it's just gonna mostly happen, like, your camp, which makes sense. Because, like, instead, the new game is all about exploring, I would assume. So it makes sense to not, like, make you constantly return back to this one point if you want to swap out, eggs or something. Why am I on this page? I swear. Alright. But I don't know. I have a feeling that the mechanics for how often eggs get spawned aren't going to change at all. Because I suspect I'm one of the few people who complains about eggs spawning kinda too fast, I guess. Except, no, the problem isn't that they spawn too fast. The problem is that they hatch too fast sometimes. But even that's not an issue. It's just, for the love of God, just give me the eggs consistently. On September 26th, 7000 series with embedded GPU capable of AV1 decoding. Well, yeah, I mean, again, a lot of older stuff has already had AV1 coding. Older Intel CPUs, and all of, like, the recent gens of AMD and NVIDIA GPUs have had the decoder, but no way to encode, which has been the holdback. But yeah, it is nice that the new AMD CPUs are finally going to have, like, across the board, they'll have embedded graphics. Because God doesn't make it better for, just, like, trying to troubleshoot and shit like that. Or just, having a functioning PC even when, like, your graphics card dies or something. You won't be playing any games on their integrated graphics, but you'll at least, you can at least, like, use your computer. You're gonna say you're hoping you can use it as a iGPU? Yeah. Yeah, it's not as good as, like, the AMD APUs that they used to do a lot of. But, I mean, again, it's enough to drive the display. NVIDIA 4000, yeah, NVIDIA 4000 does have AV1 encoders built in. And it's assumed the next generation of AMD graphics cards are going to have it, and then obviously Intel is already confirmed to have it. Technically, you can already use it with the Intel system. It's just, you know, you can't really get a A380 right now because they're available, but nowhere actually has them in stock for the exactly one card that exists for them. And you can pick up, like, once they're being sold from China, because in China they're being included in pre-built PCs, but that's like, I ain't that desperate in any way. Oh boy, here we go again. Alright. But yeah, it'll be nice that all future graphics cards are going to have that stuff available. Just because when I do eventually upgrade for my 2070, I'll be able to just, like... I'll basically have two AV1 encoders available, so that way I can record and stream just with different encoders. But we'll see. That A770, if it is good, it is kind of tempting at $300. But at least, you know, compared to the basically unapproachable prices for NVIDIA's next-gen shit. But at the end of the day, even if it's only $300, it still needs to be a reasonable improvement over my 2070. It is interesting with the AMD CPUs that just came out. It's weird that none of them have the 3D V-cache that the that we saw on the last gen. It was just the one CPU. What was it, the 5800X 3D? But it's surprising that, like, we didn't see any of the new stuff have that technology, because, like, that was really good. I don't know. It's like, it's just weird that we haven't seen it yet. Surely it's probably going to come again at some point, because the performance increase that it gave in games is too good for AMD to just, like, not do again, but... who knows? Oh yeah, I think Intel just announced their next-gen CPUs as well. Which also had some really weird stuff with it, like they, the way they did their graphs for it, concerning actually the 5800X 3D, it's just very, very bizarre, some of the shit they did with that. And, like, they weren't even using equivalent hardware between the two systems, or, like, between the systems that they used for their comparisons and stuff. And it's like, what the fuck are you guys doing? They apparently made a post saying that, like, because they were using some really slow RAM on the AMD system compared to what they used on one of their Intel systems anyways. And they're like, well, I mean, that's what's like the official rated or whatever shit. But it's like, right, but no one actually runs at that speed ever. Like, what are you, what? Like, you might be technically correct, but like... And also, their own, like... Yeah, I don't know, it was really weird. It doesn't look completely stupid, though. According to reliable leaker, AMD will announce 3D cached versions of Zen 4 at CES 2023. Yeah, I don't think it'll be too long until we see those. I wonder if part of it was they knew they were probably going to announce their next gen before Intel. Or they were going to launch it anyways, and so they figured just like hold off on that. That way we can get an easy win after Intel stuff is out. Which would make sense. And it doesn't look like the current stuff is bad or anything. Or, you know, the new current stuff. The only thing that isn't great is the 7600X is kind of a hard sell right now. Because since there aren't going to be any B550 boards available, or B650 or whatever it's going to be called, the low-end motherboards, it's just going to be super expensive. Like, even trying to go with, like, kind of the more budget-oriented CPU. Or at least bang for your buck. But I think the B-series boards are launching in October. So hopefully we'll see some more reasonable stuff. Don't think people cared as much as they should about 3D cache. Well, I mean, part of it is that it's great for video games. Productivity type stuff, not as much. So I don't know if maybe that didn't help. It also didn't help that they only had the one CPU that they did with it. So hopefully with this gen, especially if they do it across like multiple products, like if they do like 7600 X3D, 7800 X3D, and then like a 7950 X3D. Even though, again, it's not really going to be as helpful for productivity stuff. At least from the stuff that I saw. Maybe I'm wrong about that. But... oh, interesting. So they're going to be doing, like... yeah, that's weird. I wonder if they're just going to do kind of like a... basically a refresh on the 7000 series and just make them all have 3D cache. Which would be actually a little shitty. But yeah, definitely like the Ryzen 5 and the Ryzen 7 series cards, or CPUs, are definitely like... I mean, all of them are going to benefit from it. But those are going to be the ones that are more aimed at gaming uses. I guess I must have hatched everything already. Am I just off? Huh, okay. Still no shiny, by the way. But I guess that's all the more reason why I shouldn't even be worried about upgrading yet. Actually, if I want to be a kind of a scumbag, I can, once those 3D ones are out, I can get my buddy to buy that to upgrade for his system, and then I can just get his old CPU and motherboard, which is a slight step up from mine. And his is actually a like the high-end board, whatever the the X570 or whatever. I have his old motherboard sitting at my desk, actually. The one that he fried by dumping a cup of water into the top of his CP or computer accidentally. Still not sure how he didn't fry his graphics card when he did that. But we'll see. He did just drop a whole bunch of money on car parts again, so we got a little while before he could even consider that. Plus, he has already agreed to buy me one of those Intel GPUs, so, you know. But yeah, I need to try and, like, keep up with the news and see if they, when they announce anything about those, workstation Intel cards. I don't know, hopefully I'll be fine on PCI lanes with that. I should be, because I don't think using it just for the encoder, having the two GPUs is going to overload anything. I just know I'm definitely going to be getting close, being that I have, you know, my my NVMe drive, and my main GPU, and my Elgato, and then I'm going to have the encoding GPU as well. Seems like that might be really stretching the limits of the B-series board that I have. But we'll find out when we get there. Of course, it hatched right after I started to boost. Alright. Oh, speaking of announcements, I guess to bring it back to Pokemon, they did just show off a new Pokemon for Scarlet and Violet. That is definitely not a Diglett, by the way. Sure, it looks very similar, and it's called Wiglet, but it's definitely not a Diglett. But we'll see. I don't care about the new Pokemon at all. I do find it funny how they made it clear. It's like, it's not a regional form of Diglett. By the way, it's called Wiglet. Like, what? Like, once you have 1,000 Pokemon, yeah, some of them are going to start to look similar, but at the same time, you also don't have to name them so similarly. That's like the thing that I found the funniest, it's just the name of it. But yeah, I don't think like the reveal even like showed anything about the Pokemon at all, honestly. It just like it just showed it, but like we don't know what typing it is, I don't think. We don't know what the moves are gonna be or abilities. You just looked it up, yeah. Definitely an interesting choice. But yeah, I don't think, other than that, there hasn't been a whole lot of news about Pokemon recently. Which, I mean, we have a little bit under 2 months until the new games come out, so We'll see if we start getting some more information soon. Although, we have already seen quite a bit. So I don't know how much more information we would even get. Probably switch the, here, let me actually watch this hatch. Alright. I'm just trying to find the playlist that I want. Is it lo-fi? Oh, it is lo-fi. Okay. Okay, there we go. I switched to a different playlist instead, just the album, and it immediately played a song from that album that I was switching from. Whoops. I do hope with the new games that they don't pull a an Ilka and make sure the shiny charm actually works properly this time. The shiny charm not affecting any Pokemon in the wild was one of the stupidest things I've ever seen. Because clearly it was intentional, otherwise they would have fixed it at some point. And I don't see that game getting an update now to fix that. And it doesn't even make any sense, because in the description it even says makes you more likely to see shiny Pokemon in the wild. And then it only works on breeding. It's like, well, that isn't exactly in the wild, guys. Like, I totally understand it not working with chaining, just because, you know, the odds on shiny or on a Pokeradar chains is already gets pretty ridiculous, but like the fact that it doesn't work on just random wild Pokemon is just so dumb. I doubt they're gonna fuck that up again, because it's Game Freak, not Ilka. And it did work perfectly fine in Legends Arceus, so I'm not too worried about it, but God, please. Also, I hope that Spinda's actually in the new games as well, because otherwise I don't have a way to shiny hunt Spinda right now. Every other Pokemon Gems 1 through 4, I think anyways, I'm capable of shiny hunting, other than maybe some legendaries or something. But every other Pokemon is capable of happening with, whether, you know, breeding or encounters or whatever. The thing with Spinda is, even if you get a shiny Spinda, they fucked up how they're generated, how like their pattern is generated. Ilka, that is. So you can't transfer Spinda into or out of BDSP. You cannot use use Pokemon Home to do that. So, good job, guys. It's like Spinda and Ninjask and Shedinja or something. Or it might be the entire Nincada line. But the reason why those are fucked up is different. Those are fucked up because the when they implemented the clone checker or whatever, I guess maybe they didn't quite account for it properly with those Pokemon, because I guess something with how Shedinja is created when you involve an Nincada into Ninjask. But that one at least is a little bit more understandable. And like you can do that shiny hunt in Sword and Shield if you want. So it's not really a big deal. Spinda, we only have one game with it on the Switch anyways. So, be cool if they fix that. Or just have like a Pokemon Go community day for a Spinda or something. I think the next one is for Litwick, which we'll see. I need to look at, I'm not sure if they've announced the actual times for it yet. I think we know the date. I know it's not for a couple weeks anyways. Yeah, like if I have time to, I guess I'll do that one. Just to see what happens. But I'm not really gonna be too upset if I don't get any shinies out of that event. I only really cared about Gigalith because it is a trade evolution, so until the new games are out, we don't really know that the link cable is coming back, so I might as well just do it now. I would assume it will. It's such a good idea that it'd be weird if it doesn't come back, but we'll just have to see. Though I guess there is the question of what happens with Pokemon that have a hold item for the trade evolution. So something like Magmar needs to hold a Magmarizer and be traded to evolve into Magmortar. Because in Legends Arceus, there's no hold items, right? You either use the item on it or you don't. Nothing gets held. So, like, it made sense there why you just use the Magmarizer on it and it's good to go. But I wonder how they're going to do that in the new games, because technically stuff like Gengar and your trade evolutions that didn't require an item, those all still worked, I believe, actually, in Legends Arceus. So you could use the link cable to evolve them, or you could trade them, and then when they were traded, they would evolve. And I would assume they want to do it the same with the new games, assuming they keep the link cable. But then, like, for the stuff where they have to hold an item for it, and so if that gets changed to you just use the item on them, then there is no reason whatsoever to do the trade evolution route. Because, like, in theory, with, like, a Gengar or something, you can be like, well, I'd rather, save the item for something else. Since I have, I'm able to trade it right now, or whatever the reason is, So, I'm interested to see what happens there. Because I hadn't thought about that before, and that does actually make me a little concerned that they might, not bring back the link cable. It would really, really, really suck ass if they don't, but it does make me wonder if they will now. Only because, again, there's there's absolutely no reason to do the trade evolution for the hold item Pokemon if you can just use the item on them instead. I don't know. I guess we'll have to see. I would still have to assume that we're gonna see the link cable come back. But that does, like, give me, like, 1% concern. They're like, oh, maybe not. Kind of like how one of the things in the leaks was that they were claiming there was only going to be... Really? We're already back to this album again? Come on, I can play something else for a little bit. Alright. Oh god, what was I just talking about? I know it's something about there's a small chance it might not come back. I don't know. I'm not really too worried about that, though. I am worried about getting this goddamn shiny Corsola tonight. I still got a while to go. Said something about the leaks. Oh, right. So, yeah, in the leaks, it's claimed that there's only going to be 2 Paldean form Pokemon. With, Paldean Wooper, and then, also, Taurus is supposed to have a Paldean form. And actually, it's supposed to have, like, 3, like, alternate forms of it as well, I think was said. Which, like, kind of sounds like nonsense. Not the Taurus part of it, but the fact there's only going to be 2 regional evolution lines. But the fact that we haven't seen any more, and they, like, even specifically with Wiglet, were like, no, it's not a regional Diglett, is a little disappointing. It makes me think, like, maybe that leak was right on the money, and we're just not really getting regional forms this time. But that said, that same leak also, I believe, said that we were gonna get like a past and a future variant for Gallade, and then it was revealed that no, it's just 2 whole ass new Pokemon. So who knows? It could be that Pokemon weren't implemented yet, at least not in the build that the leaker saw, or, you know, whatever the possibilities are. That's kind of why I, like, don't... At least when I was first hearing about it, I didn't want to give too much attention to the leaks, because it's like, well, a lot of times, especially when they're saying shit that's, like, very vague, which a lot of their shit was, it's like, yeah, okay, this sounds like, you know, someone either completely making shit up, or... You know, they have, you know, a couple things, and then the rest of it, they're just... Why am I leaving already? I literally looked at my party, saw that I only had 4, and then left. Yeah, anyways, it's like, anything can be worded vaguely enough, so that way, when the official reveal happens, it's like, see, I was totally correct. Plus, there was shit in the leaks where, like, they contradicted themselves, or, I mean, at least sometimes they would say, well, actually, going back on old information, then they would, like, change it. But there are also sometimes where it would just be, like, 2 completely different things would get said. And it's like, cool, okay. I don't know. We'll just have to see when the games actually come out. I guess if there's only a couple of Paldean regional variants, then it'll be really easy for me to get all their shinies. And then I don't have to worry about that. We'll see, though. I mean, I still want to get all of the Galarian forms before the new games come out. If I actually stick to my new schedule, it should be okay, but as I have shown over the last year or so, actually, it's getting really close to being exactly a year since I started streaming. At least on this account. Oh yeah, no, we're past it. Yeah, because I started on September, I think anyways. This is the oldest recording I have for it. I started on September 21st last year. So yeah, just over a year. Anyways, my inability to stay consistent has been very obvious, so... But, assuming I do stick to this, I should be okay to get all the Galarian forms still. But it will definitely be closer than I wanted it to be. I do still need to finish up Let's Go Eevee before then, but we've got to at least be probably like 60% of the way into that game. And honestly, towards the end of it, I can do some grinding off stream as well, like before Elite Four or whatever. Come on, hatch the last egg. There we go. Hold on a second. What was I going to do? Right. I need to write down a note because I just thought about something. And I already forgot what it was. Fuck. Oh. I've been thinking of how I can, like, change the design on some stuff. Oh, yeah, Hannah. The, yeah, Wiglet seems to be based on the spotted Gardeneal. Or at least it seems very similar. Alright, let's do this. Also, I got distracted because my buddy with the Mustang, because he just won a bunch of money through sports betting. Good for him. He just bought his intercooler and stuff for his car, so he sent me a message saying, hey, don't know if you're up for it, but it should be here by Friday. And it's like, okay, well, considering how our last foray into that went, with just trying to paint your brake calipers, yeah, we're not going to try and do that in the couple hours before I have to go to work. That's just no. We'll have to find some other time to do that. Because that was why... Was it Monday when I tried to stream? Or no, I think it was, yeah, before the last stream. The one that only went for like 30 minutes. But yeah, I had the issue where I was going to potentially stream on a Monday, but I was also helping him with his car and just... Oh, what a disaster that was. We got half of his brakes painted. And that took like 8 hours. Granted, a lot of that was just getting the wheels off because all the lug nuts were fucked up. Thanks, Ford. Which I knew that was going to be an issue. But, you know, it still took a little bit to deal with that. And then waiting for the front brakes to dry. And then I got the rear brakes all pulled apart and everything. And then the second can of paint didn't work, so we couldn't actually paint them, and that was really frustrating. And then we didn't even get to his oil catch can, but I think probably what will happen is... Actually, I was supposed to go over to his place today, and we were going to finish off the rear brakes. We'll probably do that like next week or something. And then at some point, we'll figure out when... I'll try and knock out the intercooler and the the oil catch can on the same day. Because I don't think either of those are going to be too terribly difficult. The hardest thing with the intercooler will be I have to take off the whole front bumper of the car. But we'll see what happens there. Though, now even thinking about it, the way they fucking... We'll have to see. Because the place that he took his car to get his underglow and stuff done, they basically, I guess, assumed that he was never ever gonna have his car worked on again in any fucking way, because holy shit, some of the places they, like, tied wires to is just fucking stupid. Actually, not even tied wires to. They tied, like, one of the, like, control unit pieces to a bundle of wires inside the hood. And it's like, that's not how you mount shit, motherfuckers. What the fuck are you doing? Like, I kind of understand, like, where they mounted the actual, like, light bars, the LEDs. I get there wasn't really much area for them to work with down there. But seeing how they did other shit, I don't know if we're going to be able to even take the front bumper off now that I'm thinking about it. But we'll just have to see about that. I'm sure we can get it off, at least enough that, like, I probably could work on it. It's probably going to end up being a fucking nightmare to do it, though. Because it's going to be a thing where you have it, like, kinda off to the side, so that way you can get into where you need to work, but also you can't remove it all the way, so it's, like, still a pain in the ass. We'll just have to see. And he was going to take it back down there, because they got, like, a new thing that has, like, a new light mode or whatever. It was like, yeah, I'm going to get that. It's like, sure, dude. It's your car and your money. I don't think spending a couple $100 for a new light mode is, worth it, but sure. You do you, man. But I don't know if he already went down there and did that. If he didn't, then, like, I should probably just tell him, like, hey, make sure they don't, like, make it impossible to take the fucking front bumper off. I don't know, surely there must be, like, a plug. Because, so where it's mounted, it's literally, like, they drilled small holes into the bottom of the bumper, like where, like, some of the, air dam stuff is. And they, put zip ties through those holes and then zip tied the light bar to the bottom of the front bumper, basically. Kind of the same with, like, the rear and sides as well. Which, like, is probably the only way for them to really do that. I mean, the only other way would be with, like, double-sided tape, and that's probably not as useful, especially in Arizona. But, like, I just don't know if they left enough slack in the wiring, or if there's, you know, a connection behind where we can't see it. We're on the second fucking egg here, and it's already not spawning shit. Good. I wonder if I'll have to do it 3 times. Where I have to fucking take that. There we go. Thanks. Take fucking eggs out of the party. But yeah, I don't know. It was so fucking weird the way they mounted shit. Especially because it actually made it a pain in the ass when I was installing his intake, because right where they put that control unit is where the new intake goes, and where the old intake goes too. That's the thing. Like, I know the new stuff was bigger, and, like, I'm not necessarily gonna ask them to, you know, oh, make sure you account for all of the possible aftermarket intakes that could be put on the car when you are doing your wiring stuff. Like, I understand that, but don't zip tie something to wires that is, like, not real heavy, but, like, it's made to be hard mounted to something, not zip tied to a fucking wiring harness. That, just fucking lazy is what that is. I guarantee that's a thing where they went, well, this guy's just bringing it into us to do it, so he's probably doesn't give a shit. We'll just do it however, because he's never going to pay attention. And granted, with my buddy, they would probably be correct, but, like, someone who's willing to drop a couple $100s on a lighting kit is probably also willing to drop a couple $100s on an intake. Just saying. Because I know we did talk about, when he does that he's going to try and get them to have that stuff in just a slightly better spot, where it's not going to be possibly rubbing on something for the intake filter. It should be fine where it is, but just, like, adjust it just a little bit to take away, you know, any concern there. But I didn't even think about the fact that, like, yeah, the light bar is mounted to the front bumper, and so when we take that off to do the intercooler, how are we getting that off? Yeah, that'll probably be a day that I have to just take off of work and just... Actually, that's what I did when we were going to do his brakes and his catch can, and we only did half of the brakes. Was I took that Monday off, because I was like, yeah, I mean, I need to, you know... We needed to have, like, a whole day to do it, which I was correct, I just didn't realize we needed even more than the time that I allotted. But we'll see. The problem is our schedules don't really line up super well. So none of my days off are on a day when he has the day off. So one of us has to take the day off. So, who knows, we'll see. We could do it on, like, a Thursday or something. I just take my, what's basically my Monday off. But yeah, like today, we'd kind of planned on, me going over to his place to paint the rear brakes, finally. I didn't take the Pokemon out of my party, did I? Maybe I did. Oh, I did. Okay, cool. But yeah, because today, like, it would have been after he had worked. So, like, 5 p.m. And I have the day off anyways, so it wouldn't have been a bad idea. But also, it ended up not working out, so we'll do that some other time. I think time-wise we'll be okay, especially because now I know kind of what I'm doing back there. It's 2 more eggs. So we'll definitely pass 700 eggs today. Well, unless I get the shiny really soon. Also, this is now, I think, officially the longest egg hunt that I've done on stream. Which I guess is kind of deserved after the absurd luck that I had with Galarian wheezing. Just to double check that, actually. I, like, know that I'm fine. Okay, yes. Make sure I don't do the thing again where both my Pokemon are in Japanese, and so I don't actually get Masuda method. That was a stupid mistake. Does kind of give you an idea, though, of how variable the luck is for shiny hunting. Because, like, that, getting that shiny coughing, even though the odds were 1 in 1366, I got it in, what, like, under 300 eggs? Meanwhile, this one at, like, almost a third of the odds, or, like, 3 times better odds for getting a shiny. And it's taking over twice as long. Fun times. But yeah, hopefully we get this tonight, and then tomorrow night I can play some more Let's Go Eevee, and then we can just figure out what I'm going to do from there. I will say Friday and Saturday are going to be kind of like maybe days for streaming. I do want to be consistent about streaming on those nights, but dang, those are the ones where I'm going to be working the latest, because I won't be getting out of work until probably 11:30 on those nights. It's just less likely. I should be fine, but just... it might be a thing where occasionally I just take one of them off because I'm just too damn tired. But I do plan on being more consistent with the streams moving forward. Again, I've said that a few dozen times, and so far I'm and a few dozen for actually doing that, so... But I think because I actually have, like, a consistent schedule again, both for work and, like, actually planning my streams and stuff. And the big thing was before I was thinking about doing stuff like, oh, maybe I can do some more, like, you know, earlier in the day streams on some days, and then other days I can do a super late stream or something, and it just, there's going to be no real consistency to it. I mean, like, week to week it would stay the same, but, like, streaming at, you know, one time on one day and then a completely different time on another day, it's just like, eh. It just... it was going to be too chaotic to work out well for me. Yeah, hold on a second here. Yeah, I have my shiny charm. Okay. I had to, like, double check because, sure didn't seem like it, how long this is going. But yeah, my shiny charm is active. We'll see. We should get to around, like, 750 eggs tonight. I think that's about where we're going to get to. I'll probably wrap up there, even if it's a little bit before 1. Nope, that's still in the bag. I can't complain about that one. I did that one intentionally. Okay, 2 eggs so far. God, I really hope they fix that fucking glitch in Scarlet and Violet, where you can't, like, sprint or boost or you can sprint or boost. That wasn't what I meant. But after doing so, if you get interrupted, like, by an egg hatching, your, like, turning radius still stays, like, as if you're boosting, but you're not. So it's just, you, instead of making, like, these tight little, okay, instead of making those tight little circles, you make, like, giant ones. Which is a problem, because you're still trying to do it as fast. But then, like, so you just end up switching directions and shit. It's just annoying as hell. Honestly, it's probably not something you even really notice just, like, playing the game normally. I want to say I might have noticed, but I didn't think anything of it. I just assumed I was being weird. Or it was, like, a weird one-off bug. But odds are, if you shiny hunt, at least via eggs, you will notice that at some point. Alright. Can we get this before 700? Please, for the love of God. Because that would be very helpful. Or just at any point tonight would be great. Well, that wasn't it. Alright. Oh, right, the new, Twitch did add, besides the thing I was looking at right at the beginning of the stream, like the new creator update or whatever, they also did recently add, oh, sorry, like a new way to, like, change how the highlighting for certain messages looks. So, like, you can have it highlighted when, like, you know, a first-time commenter, is in the chat, or, you know, like your moderators, if you get mentioned, stuff like that. You can change how, like, that looks in the chat, at least on your end. So that way it's just easier to see them, like with a first-time commenter. So you can be like, hey, you know, welcome to the channel or whatever. Which is really nice. It's weird there wasn't like a thing about that though. Being that like most of the tools for that would be more for like streamers and not just like people in chat. I think there's some amount of it that might be useful for people in chat, but like seems mainly to be the creator side of things, so that's, I don't know. But anyways, I saw that I still had the like icon for it in the version on my laptop. I'll have to see if any of these Corsola end up having actually like perfect stats. Because I think the one that I'm breeding with is supposed to have no good attack, no good speed. But I don't know if that one is perfect already. I'll have to like check it, I guess. The thing is, I'm not going to bother trying to save any of like my high-quality rejects. So, like, if it has perfect stats, but it's just, like, not shiny. I'm not gonna bother, like, saving those to trade them, because I already have so many Pokemon to trade in Pokemon Home. And I'm so inconsistent about doing it. Maybe once Scarlet and Violet are out. But I don't know. Probably not even then, because honestly, you go through so many Pokemon doing this. And so even just, like, the good stuff, or, like, the arguably perfect stuff, it's just, like, there's just so many of them if you're doing a lot of this that, like, it's just hard to trade them all away. Especially when most of the stuff that you get through, like, mystery trades and stuff is not great. Like, I still hang on to, anything with at least 5 IVs in, that I get from a mystery trade on Pokemon Home. Not including stuff that, like, I know I have a bunch of. Like, Gen 8 starters, I don't need to worry about holding on to those. I have so many of those already. Not worried about it. But if it's something more rare that has at least 5 IVs, then I hold on to it. But that's like 1 or maybe 2 per like set of 10 that I trade. End up being like that. In fact, a lot of times there's not even a single one in there. Sometimes you do get a shiny though. Though unfortunately, you know, like was the Pancham, I think, is the unevolved form of Pangoro or whatever. Basically the little baby panda thing. That I've gotten as like a hacked bullshit Pokemon, and now the Lycanroc as well. But honestly, most of my shinies have been at least not obviously fake that I've gone through that. Because what, I've gotten like a Slacking and a couple other ones. But since they, they're Community Day Pokemon in Pokemon Go, so, like, there's probably a lot of those things floating around. So it's like someone who just, like, literally doesn't care at all about it. And just like, all right, here, have it. I don't care. Something I do want to do some more of, maybe tonight actually after the stream, is work on more of my alternate form stuff. I'm actually kind of close to being done with the like alternate sex forms. I still got a little ways to go, but I'm into Gen 4 by now, so we're getting there. I think I'm in Gen 4? Maybe not. I might be like right before it or something. But I mean, after Gen 4, they didn't really do much of that. And when they did, it was like a big difference. Like, Unpheasant is a pretty big difference. High Roar, the male and female versions of that are very different. And then, like, stuff like Indeedee or Basculegion, where... More so with Indeedee, where there isn't that much of a difference visually. The horns are, like, different, but, like, the Pokemon themselves are actually... Like, they have different abilities available to them, I think. And their stats are a little bit different. Also, we didn't get it before 700. Damn it. Yeah, I'm definitely paying for my luck with, that Galarian Weezing. Oh, well. And I think when the new games come out, I think I need to decide how I want to do it with, like, scheduling for my work as well. But for sure, I definitely want to take off the couple of days before the games come out. So probably, well, I guess Tuesday. So I probably will just not stream on that Wednesday. I think. So I would have the Monday and the Tuesday that I would regularly be planning to have off. And then Wednesday I would probably take off as well. And then Thursday, the game won't come out until I'm, like, off of work anyways, because I think it'll come out at 10 p.m. on Thursday. So I can stream it that night, just try and stream it as long as I can before I'm going to, like, pass out. And then either Friday or Saturday, I will take the day off of work, and I will just, like, stream as much as I can on those days, or on whichever day it is. Come on, here we go. Alright, now that I got these, hold on. Now that I've got these, let me swap over to intermission, because I am going to run to the bathroom, so I will be back in a few minutes here. Recording is resumed. Back to Sword and Shield eggs. We had our 5, right? Alright, off we go. There we go, already. Alright, 701, we still don't got it. You know, for some reason, I have a feeling we're not going to get this tonight, which will be a shame. I think we'll still do Let's Go Eevee tomorrow, even if we don't get this, but a little disappointing. I mean, we do still have 50 eggs, which is very rough ballpark math, is 10% chance of it happening, but, you know, would have liked to have seen it by now. But then after this, I move on to Galarian Zigzagoon, I believe. I think that's the next one that I have coming up. I still need to work on my my slow pokes. Because I got the one that I turned into Slow Bro, I think? Either Slow Bro or Slow King. But I still need the other one that I don't have, and the base form anyways, so I still need 2 more of those. But yeah, other than that, Zigzagoon would be next. But actually, after doing Slowpoke, then I'll probably have to, I'll probably, if I've gotten Zigzagoon by then I'll probably, start working on a second one of those off-stream as well. I do need to get back into doing off-stream hunting. It's just, getting kind of burnt out with shiny hunting means that it's, like, hard to get myself to do that. Especially now that Slime Rancher 2 is out. It's early access, but it's not like some early access games where there's like this barely working shell of a game with no content. Like, there is content there already. It's just not as much as they wanted to have in the full game. But God, Slime Rancher is so much fun. I don't think I ended up clicking with the original game as much as some people did. Don't get me wrong, I love the original Slime Rancher, but it wasn't, I never got through like a full playthrough of it. But I am loving the new one so far. The lighting that they've done with the new one is incredible. Like, the game looks so pretty. And all the slimes are, as we assumed they would be, super cute as fuck, but... yeah, I want to play more of that. I've been playing Satisfactory. I've been playing a playthrough of Borderlands 3, which is the only of the Borderlands games that I haven't actually beaten. So it's been fun doing that, finally. Speaking of, Hannah, if you're still here, would you have any interest in playing some of the older Borderlands games after we're done with this playthrough? Or specifically, I care about a pre-sequel, to be honest. Being that, other than Borderlands 3, the Claptrap DLC and pre-sequel is the only thing that I haven't actually played in terms of Borderlands content, so it'd be nice to play through that. Pre-sequel would be the one that would be my main one that I want to play through. I mean, I would love to play through all of them, if you're down. I assume you don't have pre-sequel, but I also assume it's not expensive. Oh, you have Handsome Collection. Never mind then. That's perfect. Because actually, yeah, that has the Claptrap DLC as well. I think I have that on Steam. I know I bought it on PS4 originally. Let me see here. Oh, yeah, I do. Or at least I have the, yeah, I have that expansion. Cool. Oh, I have an item on Steam? What's this? This is another trading card pack. I shouldn't be bothering with this. Oh, a Stardew Valley trading card pack. I have seen that you've been playing some Borderlands 2. Level 26 or so. Isn't that like about where we're at on our playthrough in Borderlands 3? You're tearing through that game. But yeah, I actually just recently, like right before we started Borderlands 3, I think, I just finished up a playthrough of Borderlands 1, the like enhanced edition. Kind of finished up the playthrough. I'm doing the first DLC right now. I'll probably skip Moxie's because it's that DLC, but can't wait to do General Knox and Claptrap again. And then we'll see if I take that into a playthrough too. I definitely love farming for weapons in Borderlands 1. I still like just the armory glitch just has such a special place in my heart. But I don't know if I have the enthusiasm to play through all of the DLC and then play through the game and all the DLC again. Maybe, though. I don't know. But I'm definitely having a ton of fun playing through Borderlands 3. I mean, I enjoyed it when I originally played it back in 2019, but there's just that one mission that just caught me at like the wrong time. I guess I was just in the wrong mood, and I just like was frustrated with it. Just like, fuck this, I'm not playing this anymore. I think I'm gonna be honest, I was probably drunk at the time too, so I think I was just like, fuck this, and uninstalled the game, and then uninstalled Epic. And then that's why, like, I just never got back to it, because, like, I'm not gonna go reinstall Epic for one game. Even though that's what I ended up doing. BL2, you just got through the Bloodwing bit. Oh. Yeah, it's a good bit into the game. Also, I guess to be fair, I say I've never, or that the Claptrap expansion in Borderlands pre-sequel is the like only, besides Borderlands 3 as a whole, is the only content that I haven't done. But that's actually not true. I never did the any of the Headhunter packs for Borderlands 2. But those are like hour-long mini DLC, so I'm not too worried about those. But the thing with Borderlands 2 is I always tell myself, like, I'm gonna finally do it. I'm gonna do a full playthrough with Gage where I just go full anarchy, just don't aim at fucking anything, just shoot at the damn ground and let the, you know, the ricochets and all of that shit do the work for me. But I never get super far into those playthroughs. So I probably get around to the Bloodwing part, and then I just kind of, or even before then, I just fall off. I forget what made me stop playing the most recent time. But the thing is, like, so I'll put it down for like 6 months to a year, and then I'll come back to it and be like, well, I could pick up from the Gage playthrough where I left off, or I could just start a new one. Because, to be fair, the early game leveling is kind of like the most fun anyways. Besides, like, very end game, you know, farming for loot and stuff. I forgot how many useless iron sights were in Borderlands 2, though. I don't remember them being too bad. Though, granted, again, I do a lot of Gage playthroughs where I'm not aiming at anything, so I probably just didn't use them too much. My big thing with Borderlands 2 weapons is, like, some of them are just, some of, like, the whole entire, like, product lines, or, like, entire manufacturers are just terrible. Like, the bandit weapons, just no. No. They just suck. Like, I get they have giant mags, but it's just, they aren't worth it. Hyperion, especially with sniper rifles, were just bad. Or mainly with sniper rifles, I guess. I didn't like Dahl. Yeah, pretty much all the E-Tech weapons just suck. I know there's some that are good, but yeah, like the Spiker, just a lot of them are not great. Yeah, Hordes weren't great because the Gyrojet, while neat, kind of difficult to work with. Didn't like Dahl because I just typically don't like burst fire. I either want full auto or I want single shot. And Dahl is like the worst of both worlds. Which is why I really like him in Borderlands 3, because most of them you can swap between. At least one of their modes will be either full auto or semi-auto. And a lot of times it's both. So you can just swap between semi-auto or full auto. God, that's like been the nicest thing about Borderlands 3 is having like the alternate weapon modes. Especially for the guns where it's like just being able to select fire it is so nice. Especially the ones where it has like multiple different sights, so it'll swap between the sights when you swap modes. So your single fire will have a higher zoom, and then your full auto will just be the iron sights or whatever. Been using Malawan and Jacobs primarily. Makes sense. It does suck that Malawan is like kind of shit in Borderlands 3. Though, I don't know. Maybe some of like the legendary guns and stuff will be super cool, but... Because there is that one that I have that is like just absolutely obliterated some enemies for a little bit. The Emperor in Borderlands 2 had the goofy 6-round burst. Yeah. Well, there's that, there's that one SMG when you're doing the area that the Firehawk is in. Or I guess Lilith, because that game's been out for... That game has been out for a decade now. Jesus fucking Christ, Borderlands 2 has been out for a decade. Oh, fucking Christ. Where's my AARP card? God. That hurt to say out loud. But there's that SMG that you can pick up in the cave there. That it's like a unique gun. And it's like the bullet pattern is like in the pattern of a bowl or whatever. Which like... That's the same thing, where it's a burst fire dull SMG. But that one, at least, it's just like a wall of bullets. And also, early game, it's like super useful to have. But yeah, I had not even thought about the fact that Borderlands 2 has been out for 10 years now. Like, it's weird because, like, Borderlands 1 is... definitely feels like an older game to me. You know, not like, you know, PS2 era old, but it doesn't like... It doesn't surprise me when I go like, oh yeah, there's, you know, this game's been out for however long. But Borderlands 2 being out for a decade now, like, it still feels like Borderlands is maybe like a 5-year-old game. Or Borderlands 2, that is. You've noticed a lot less purples and legendaries in Borderlands 2? Yup. It's my main reason why I don't like Borderlands, or why I didn't like BL2. But yeah, the rarity of loot in Borderlands 2 just kind of sucks. It got better, because at launch it was bad. Like, for comparison, like, we've already gotten probably like 5 or 6 or so legendary weapons in our BL3 playthrough. In Borderlands, and granted, that's with 2 players, so the enemies in theory are a little bit harder and blah blah blah. Also, I wasn't paying attention with this. Whatever, we'll just mess with those after. But like, you know, not to a degree that it would be like an insane amount, right? Having multiple players in the playthrough. So like 6 of those or so in our first playthrough, I'll say. Borderlands 1, you know, very usual to see like 3 or 4 during a playthrough, and that's on like a solo playthrough. Borderlands 2, I had like 2.5 playthroughs of that game. That I did before, like, I got bored of it originally. And the reason why I got bored is because I did not see a single fucking legendary the entirety of all those playthroughs. The only kind of legendary that I saw was the one that's a quest reward, which you always get. That kind of doesn't count. That's no different than it being white. So, yeah. That's always been like my gripe with Borderlands 2, is just, especially at launch. I know it got a little bit better later on. Because when I did later playthroughs, I noticed a lot more decent weapons. I'm assuming I didn't farm at all. No, I mean, I didn't, you know, don't really farm on my first playthrough of Borderlands 1, usually, and we haven't really farmed at all in Borderlands 3. So yeah, I wasn't really doing any weapon farming in Borderlands 2, because for the most part, until you get to max level, there's not really any reason to do that. Especially in, like, Borderlands 2, where, at least when that game came out, they were giving out golden keys like candy, so it was like, you know, pretty much every time I would level up, I would just go and hit the golden chest once and get a new gun. Or I'll see if I can get a new gun that would be better. I guess, to be fair, some of our legendaries in Borderlands 3 have been from that golden chest, but honestly, I think actually the number we've gotten is far higher than 12, or far higher than 6. Because we've gotten a lot of legendary grenade mods. Yeah, in Borderlands 2, the gold chest only gave out purple loot. Or purple and E-Tech, which was still purple, but, you know, kind of its own thing, I guess. E-Tech is worse than purple, though. I mean, you're not wrong. I know there are a couple exceptions, but pretty much across the board, yeah, E-Tech is bad. I think, like, the rocket launchers might be the only thing that's, like, good. But one nice thing about us picking up Borderlands 3 so late, kind of, is we already know what all the content is. Or all the content is out anyways. So we don't have to worry about like a new level cap and all of our guns get worse or anything like that. We should look into what's actually in the 2 DLC that are part of, like, the second season pass or whatever, just to see if there's literally anything in that we even, like, want to care about. Because I'm actually, from the description I saw of the arms race thing, I don't think that's gonna be too well, it'll probably be interesting, but that seems more of like a roguelite mode inside of Borderlands 2. Or Borderlands 3, rather. It might be like that Fight for Sanctuary DLC that everyone hated. Did people hate that DLC? Because that was the one that they gave out for free for Borderlands 2, right? Like, after all the other content, like, all the other content was out, Tales from the Borderlands had finished up and stuff, only because it used to be free. But, yeah, they said it was going to be fucking paid for later. Yeah, Borderlands has the stupidest fucking fan base on the planet. Like, worse than Pokemon. It's not in the Handsome Collection. Well, right, because the Handsome Collection came out before that DLC did. That DLC didn't come out until a little bit before Borderlands 3 was coming out. It was specifically to bridge the gap from 2 to 3. And, you know, kind of work in... The big part of it is working in a lot of the stuff from Tales from the Borderlands. Because, like, the events from Tales from the Borderlands seems to take place like, after Borderlands 2. And also kind of ties in some of the other stuff with, like, the little bit of, like, current day stuff that happens in pre-sequel, because technically pre-sequel, it all takes place in between Borderlands 1 and 2, but, like, you're, like, it's weird. Describing the timeline part of that is kind of weird. It's, like, basically, the Crimson Raiders capture someone who was part of Handsome Jack's team on the moon. And so they tell the story about how they did all that shit. 47% reviews on Steam because people complaining. Yeah, those people are stupid. Like, anything to do with Borderlands, I swear to God, or the DLC for any of the Borderlands games, people just lose their mind. Like, I'm not even saying that it would have been nice if they would have just made it part of the Handsome Collection or just made it free. But, like, it came out long after the Handsome Collection. Like, I bought Handsome Collection for the PS4 in 2015. Oh, my stream died for you? Sorry. It's still up everything on my end, so it's definitely a Twitch issue. But yeah, so Handsome Collection came out at the latest in 2015. It might have been before. No, it was like early 2015, I think. And then... Did I... No, there's no more eggs in here. Okay. Well... Oh, hold on. Let me put away these eggs real quick. But yeah, and then the DLC for Fight for Sanctuary was early 2019, I think? I might be wrong about that. But I mean, it was years after. And Handsome Collection came out literally as, like, it was how they released the last DLC for, pre-sequel. So definitely all the Borderlands content, or Borderlands 2 up until that point had come out. It's just like, I don't know. Borderlands has some really stupid people. Yeah, 7 years after the original release of the game, they released the Fight for Sanctuary DLC. But I mean, that same fan base, they've done it before when they did the, you know, the season pass was finished up for Borderlands 2. And then it's like, okay, well, you guys still like the game, so I guess we'll keep making content, but it's just going to be like little micro DLC. And then the fan base lost their minds over that, because even though they got literally all the DLC that they were told they were going to get in the season pass, they threw a fit that they weren't getting more free content. And then I think they did some of this. I want to say they did the same thing with Borderlands 3, but since I wasn't playing it at the time, I don't really remember. But I do want to say there was some pissiness about a second season pass for Borderlands 3. Granted, based on what we saw was in it, that wasn't entirely unjustified, but... Also, at the same time, it is cheaper than the first one was, and, like, also just... I don't know, it's just... Yeah, I thought Fight for Sanctuary Keep was pretty decent. I don't actually remember a lot of it now. But I remember it being okay. Like, it definitely wasn't, you know... it wasn't like the Tor DLC or the Tiny Tina DLC... Or even, you know, the Armory DLC in Borderlands 1. It wasn't as good as any of those, for sure. But, I mean, for, you know... Well, and also, again, like, when they released it, it was free. The Sanctuary Keep, or the Fight for Sanctuary DLC, that is. It was free. And they did straight up say that it was going to be charged after like 1 or 2 years or something. I was just like, yeah, you know, get it now. You know, if you're already an existing fan, but also in the future it will be paid for. Can't really complain with how cheap Handsome Collection was. You had Borderlands 2 with the Season Pass, and you bought the Handsome Collection for $7. Yeah. I forget, did Handsome Collection come with... Let me check Steam again. Hold on. Oh, I don't have Borderlands 2 on this list anymore? What? Did I hide Borderlands? Okay, well, I'm not going to go searching for that now. Oh, yeah, I see your thing here. Yeah. That was the other, like, bizarre thing, that people didn't really complain about all of the cosmetic DLCs in Borderlands 2. Even though that was, like, that was basically microtransactions, but without the loot box. I'm glad they included all that in the Handsome Collection, though. Did the Handsome Collection have all of the Headhunter packs? Because I actually don't remember that. You see 5 on the list? Okay, then they must have. Because, yeah, I believe there was 5. The 5th one should be the, Son of Cromarax or whatever, right? Because I think the first 4 were all based on holidays, and then the 5th one was just like a callback to Cromarax, the raid boss from the 3rd DLC in Borderlands 1. 13 cents per Headhunter pack, yeah. Yeah, I know there was one for... Was there one? Yeah, there was one for Halloween. Sorry, Halloween? No. There was one for, like, Thanksgiving. It might have been, like, comboed in with Halloween or something, too. I just remember there's, like, a turkey you have to fight or something. And also you have to listen to Torg's grandma for, like, 15 fucking minutes. And actually pay attention because she asks you questions about what she's talking about. Why? I mean, it's funny, but also, why would you do that, Gearbox? What the fuck? But yeah, I know there was one for, Valentine's Day. I think there was one for Christmas. And then I think there was one for maybe St. Patrick's Day or something. But yeah, like, they weren't anything special, as far as I know. Again, I haven't actually played those, but if I remember correctly, they were all supposed to be, like, an hour-long experience or so. Actually, I might even be misremembering with the Halloween one. Or Thanksgiving, or whichever one it was. I wonder if maybe that was part of one of the other... You can do the multiplayer? Yes, I believe so. I don't know why you wouldn't be able to. But yeah, I'm like 99.9% certain you can. Because I feel like I remember watching someone play through one of them, and they did it in co-op. Plus, the last one is literally a raid boss. So, I would hope that you can do that with other people. I do them whenever I get a BL2 playthrough enough sometime. I mean, shit, I might still have my original 0 playthrough. I would have to look though. I need to go hunt down Borderlands 2 in my Steam library because I guess at some point I just like removed it from my library. Guess it's fine because you can always respec. Yeah, well, and also, yeah, I should have something that's decently high level. I guess the concern would be, actually, oh, no, I might not have my original Zero playthrough because that was on PS3. So, yeah, I think I had an Axton playthrough. I think I finished that one, though, because I think I did a playthrough with Zero, a playthrough with Axton, and then the Zero one I got, like, halfway through another playthrough. I always feel weird with RPGs like that because you load in and have no idea what you're doing. Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of like that with Borderlands. Fortunately, there isn't, like, that much going on usually in Borderlands. So it's usually decently easy to, like, pick it back up, but I can definitely get that. Yeah, I think last couple of times I played Borderlands 2 as well, I had like a trainer on so that way I could mess with the badass rank stuff. Because I think my logic was that, like, since I had badass ranks on my PS3 version, or like from other playthroughs and stuff like that, that like I would like combine it into that one, so it, in my mind, I wasn't cheating, but like I still definitely was. Or I might have done it to just respec them too. That might have been it. I think the most recent time that's what I was, but I'm fairly sure you can transfer from PS3 to PC if you still have it. Yeah, that'd be the problem. That PS3 is long gone. But I don't know. We could also just do a full playthrough at some point. Or I don't know, even know if you would want to, I guess, since you've already started another playthrough. We'll see. One of the things that I've never actually, I've never done a playthrough with Krieg at all. Which has always been one that I wanted to do. Just do like a full, melee, playthrough of the game. I've actually always wanted to do that with Brick as well in Borderlands 1. Just like exclusively use explosives and fists. I think I would have to if I did that. I'd probably have to start by using a shotgun, and then once I get like explosive weapons finally, and I can stop using it, but I don't know. I don't think I've ever done a full playthrough with Brick. I don't remember if I've ever done a full playthrough with Roland either. I think Krieg does fire stuff too, right? That would make sense. He is a psycho. Like a bandit psycho. So that would add up. Also, I think one of the DLC in Borderlands 3 is centered around Krieg. It's like, I'm not sure what it is, but I remember that being a thing when I was looking through the DLC and stuff. Though that does remind me, trying to think if there's any characters, at least that are still alive, in by the time Borderlands 3 starts, that we haven't seen yet in any way in Borderlands 3. Because, like, even Salvador and Axton, they're on, like, the poster, and I assume they're, like, throughout the DLC for the arms race stuff. And we know one of the DLC is centered around Krieg. But we haven't seen Gage at all. We haven't seen Athena at all. I think those are the only playable characters that we haven't seen. That wasn't 5, right? No, that was only 4. Because, like, the other playable characters in pre-sequel are... In the base game, you have Claptrap. Obviously, we've seen him. The, like, sheriff lady that you kill in Borderlands 2. And Wilhelm before he gets turned into a robot in Borderlands 2. And then the DLC characters are literally Handsome Jack and Hammerlock's sister, which we just saw in Borderlands 3. Yeah, I think that would be it. At least for playable characters. It just, we're just haven't... I'm trying to remember if in Tales from the Borderlands... I'm trying to remember what the hell even happens with that. I think she was potentially gonna stop doing vault hunting stuff so she could be with her girlfriend, but then she gets captured and she's with Lilith. Like at the end of pre-sequel. Which is, again, kind of gets into the whole, like, time weirdness stuff with a pre-sequel. It's not weird like time travel or anything, it's just there's like a section that takes place in current time, which is at that point would have been after the events of Borderlands 2, and apparently after the events of Tales from the Borderlands. And then there's a most of it though is like before the events of Borderlands 2. It's like a flashback kind of while Athena's being interrogated. So I don't know what the hell happens with her. Do we see her at all in Fight for Sanctuary? I'm not sure. Actually, now I'm thinking about it. We might have? I don't remember. But it's possible she wasn't even in that. And then, yeah, I have no idea what would be going on with Gage. I mean, I know it's a DLC character, but we've also seen DLC characters come back. So... Alright, last 5 of the night. The only thing I could think of with Gage is that they're trying to, like, not use her again because there was some, like, the bad... You didn't even think Gage and stuff was canon. Yeah, I mean, I have no idea if, like, the Handsome Jack doppelganger is considered canon, but... Well, I guess we know that he had body doubles in Borderlands 2. Gage does have a BL3 entry. Oh, okay, so then she must appear in some way. What about Athena? But yeah, I was thinking, like, the only thing I could think of with Gage is that the like, controversy before she came out because of the one guy saying, it's like, yeah, it's an easy character, so that way, like, your girlfriend can play with you or something, and people threw a shit fit, which, like, I get, but also... It clearly wasn't meant in bad taste or anything. It's just... I don't know. And also, I mean, Tiny Tina is still around, and people were a lot more upset about her character. And not, you know, one dev's slightly poorly thought out comment about said character. Like, her character just people thought was actually straight up racist. So, if they got away with that, I don't know why they would not have brought Gage back. And apparently they did. We just haven't gotten there yet, which makes sense. Alright, come on. One more fucking egg. Thank you. Doesn't say Borderlands 3 on Athena's page. Weird. Especially because she, like, plays a big role in Re-Sequel and Tales from the Borderlands. So, like, what the fuck happened? You're on mobile, though, so you didn't look super hard. I might have to look into that, then. Just to... Because you would have to assume something happened. That's why she didn't come back. Because, I mean, every other character has an entry somewhere. And I'm pretty sure she... Well, I know she hasn't gotten killed off. At least up until the end of the events of Re-Sequel. So if she gets killed off, it happens in the Sanctuary DLC. Or it is possible that, like, she just isn't, yeah, literally every other playable character is... Well, except for, obviously, Roland, but, you know, well, I guess there probably are skeletons in the Tiny Tina DLC. Anyways. Yeah, like, I know there was a thing that her girlfriend wanted her to stop doing vault hunting stuff because, you know, kind of dangerous. So it might be a thing where they literally just wrote her off like that. It's like, yeah, she's just not doing vault hunting shit anymore. She doesn't care. She's just gonna survive for the girl. And you know what? Hey, that would be fair. Maybe let anyone in the Borderlands franchise have a happy ending. Maybe she'll make an appearance if they do a fight for Sanctuary kind of thing for 3. Maybe. Because, yeah, I'm 99% certain she's not dead. So, it is an odd mission. But yeah, or maybe she had been, you know, they had planned to have her in some content or something, and something happened. I don't know. Alright, well, that is 750 Corsola. No shinies. So... fun stuff, but we'll get it eventually. Oh god, it takes too long to update with each of those. Okay, you can't... There is like a shiny mark in this summary screen, right? Yes, there is. Okay. Hold on. Okay. Let me just... I want to go through them and make sure, because it, like... It's been long enough now that it feels like I should have seen the shiny. And I mean, I'm 75% likely to have seen it, actually over 76, but... Also just kind of getting an idea of how many, like, really good ones I have. I might try and keep, like, a 6 IV. It's an obvious shiny, it's... Right, it's blue. Kind of. So you can see on the left, it basically, the body turns a lot darker and the eyes turn purple. So it's fairly obvious, but I figure I'll just check these boxes at the end here. The Galarian sorry, not Galarian Corsola, the Johto version, the original, that does turn blue, though. You are correct on that. Like, I'm very sure that I didn't miss it. Yeah, but I figured I would double check the boxes anyways, just in case. Alright, well. So yeah, we went through 150 eggs tonight. Still no shiny. Oh, one day I will get this. What's my worst hunt besides this? And besides, like, Registeel, but at least for egg hunts. Yeah, my worst one was Galarian Meowth at 632, so we've gone well past that. But hopefully that means Zigzagoon will be real quick. Maybe. I can dream. Oh, I seen the thing that you sent to me. That, yeah, with that DLC with Salvador and Axe, and Athena's the only one that hasn't come back yet. Anyway, so I'm going to wrap up there. It's like 1 in the morning. So yeah, tomorrow's stream will be probably start around 10:30 or 11 p.m. again. And we'll be playing some more Let's Go Eevee. I'll try and make as much progress as I can into that as I can. Hopefully only like 2 or 3 more streams of that. Well, I shouldn't say it like that. I really am enjoying Let's Go Eevee. It's just, I would like to finish that playthrough, and I really need to, like, finish that and do a lot of shiny hunting in the next 2 months. So, for that reason, hopefully only 2 or 3 more. I don't think we'll beat it in the next stream. In fact, I know we won't. I'm doubtful that we'll do it in 2 more. But we'll see what happens. And yeah, from there, I mean, we'll have streams Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Yeah, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So, yeah, because we're Wednesday. No, sorry. Oh, God damn it. I said Monday again. Wednesdays through Sundays. So, Monday and Tuesday off. That should be my schedule from now on. Again, around 10:30, 11:30. It depends on the night. But shouldn't be starting any later than midnight. And I probably won't be going any longer than like 2 a.m. Yeah, that's what I'm doing there. Trying to think of what else I even want to say. If you're watching this on YouTube, come watch it on Twitch, or follow me on Twitch. Yeah, I mean, you get all the VODs there, but you can at least watch it live on Twitch. If you're watching the VOD on Twitch, don't do that, because one, they go away after a while. Actually, my VODs have been disappearing like super fast. I need to check the setting for that. I saw there's like a notification that some settings were changed on like September 1st, and then I haven't looked into that since then. But the thing is, even at the best of the times, those VODs do go away over time. On YouTube, oh hey, there's a follower right there. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. But yeah, the YouTube VODs are always there, at least for, I didn't upload the last one because it wasn't very good. I only did 50 eggs, but pretty much everything worth watching is over there, and also it's going to be higher quality, both in that I recorded a much higher quality, and also I'm like rendering the videos out now to be higher resolution to make use of higher bitrate on YouTube as well. So, just in general, the YouTube videos are going to be better, and YouTube is a better video experience. I prefer Twitch for streaming, but I prefer YouTube for VODs because it's just a better experience typically. Anyways, wherever you're watching it, I do appreciate it. Thank you for tuning in. Ida, no, I don't need a braviary. Thank you for offering though. I do appreciate that. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.